Hey guys, it's Kathleen here, and today I'm finally doing my review of the Arkham Asylum and Arkham City prequel, Arkham Origins.
Each of them gets one of these envelopes. I need them delivered tonight.
They're all hired killers, the best in the business. Black Mask isn't messing around.
8 assassins after your head. What are you going to do?
I'm going to find out who is operating this drone, make them tell me what they know. Then I'm going to find Black Mask and put an end to this.
Now, before this game came out, there was a considerable amount of speculation going on amongst fans of the previous Arkham games, and I was one of those fans that was speculating because we heard that not only is Rocksteady not in charge of this game, it got picked up by Warner Bros. Studios, but also that Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, two voices that were so iconic for Batman and Joker, were not participating in this game as well. And so I was very hesitant to get hyped up for this game. I still got hyped up anyways. And doing this review, I really need to explain all the problems that I had with this game, because this game did have serious problems, and I feel like I need to go into it and explain what those problems were. However, there was one thing that they got right that gave me an overall positive opinion of this game. The gameplay of Arkham Origins functions a lot like the gameplay of Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, which is a really good thing for this game because the gameplay of Arkham Asylum really accomplished something for fighting games with the whole time combat system. You have to hit buttons at the right moments so that you can block and hit enemies. If you grind, you won't really accomplish much of anything. You'll see a lot of the same equipment from this game, such as the Cryptomatic Sequencer, the Batarang, the Bat Claw, explosive gel. There is one new piece of equipment, though, that I have to have some beef with, because it pretty much breaks the flow of the almost flawless combat of the Arkham franchise, and that is the explosive gloves. This in theory is a really great piece of equipment. It is amazing when you finally charge up this weapon and can use it against your enemies, because it inflicts a lot of damage. Unfortunately, it completely breaks the need to avoid armored enemies. You can punch through enemies' shields, and the problem I have with this is it made combat way too damn easy. Also, there were so many glitches in this game. It wasn't Bethesda level, thank God, but I had to continually restart my checkpoints because of glitches, and that is just straight up wrong. I know some people that had game-breaking glitches where they had missed out on important dialogue that was crucial to the story. However, despite all of this criticism, there was something that this gameplay added that I really enjoyed, and they upped, and by that I mean that they upped the action.
Thought I caught your scent.
I know I caught yours.
I loved the boss fights in this game because they were all unique. There was different ways that you had to take down enemies. This game also has fast travel in it, which was a huge relief. You can use the Batwing to fast travel once you hack into towers that Enigma, or the Riddler, has hacked. So once you hack these towers, you can fast travel to different areas of the map around Gotham. The reason I need to force myself to review multiplayer in games that have multiplayer, because I totally forgot to do that in my Tomb Raider review and my Last of Us review. Honestly, the multiplayer of this doesn't really fit into the campaign of this game. because you can play as thugs, such as Joker's thugs, or I think Bane's thugs, or the Black Mask's thugs. And then when you play as them, you're trying to defeat each other. It's like thug against thug, and it's a shooter, because why not? Batman's not a shooter. But then the only gameplay that makes sense to me is when you play as the heroes, which is you get to play as like, I think you get to play as Robin, yes, and Batman, and you basically run around trying to defeat all of the thugs. So it's like three different types of players all working against each other. Honestly, I feel like multiplayer would make so much more sense if you got to experience that storyline with your friends and play as Catwoman or Robin or Nightwing and run around with your friend as they're playing as Batman. I feel like that would make so much more sense. Honestly, I only want to play as the hero, and that part was pretty fun, but playing as a thug just doesn't make any sense. Like, why is this a shooter?
You of all people should know. There's nothing so cruel as memory.
Now, Arkham Origins is a prequel to the other two games. It takes place when Batman has only been in the vigilante business for about 2 years. He hasn't earned the trust of Gotham yet. Gotham doesn't quite know what to think of him. Many people fear him as another villain, and he hasn't quite earned the trust of people that read, know, and love, like Commissioner Gordon. There's other characters that appear, like Barbara, and the chemistry between the Joker and the Batman is just explosive. The story takes a really long time to kick off. It seems like, okay, the Black Mask is out to get us, there's 8 assassins that are trying to kill Batman, and we have to make sure they get put behind bars and that they don't kill Batman. Well, it's a lot more complex than it appears, and after maybe a couple hours of the game, it started to get really interesting. Now, the one reason why I fell in love with this game, now there's other reasons, but the main reason why I would give my overall opinion, despite all the flaws that this game has, is good. The reason why I would recommend this to a friend who loves Batman is the interaction between the Joker and Batman. Troy Baker did a fantastic job with this role. At first, when I first heard him, I thought, wow, that's a great Mark Hamill impression. And that's pretty much how I felt the first, maybe 30 minutes of hearing him in the game. I was like, okay, I'm just seeing Troy Baker do a Mark Hamill impression. And then the character began to evolve and become something more. The Joker in this game had so much going for him. First of all, the way his visual design for this game was just stunning. He looked like a beautiful Christmas tree. He had just jumped straight out of the toxin bin, and had beautiful radiated glowing eyes and green Christmas tree hair. I mean, he just looks very fresh and doesn't have all that decay going on yet that happens in the next game. Another thing about the Joker is they referenced one of my favorite comic books, The Killing Joke, and excuse me, the fangirl is being released. Oh, the first time I heard Troy Baker quote that book in his Joker voice, I fell in love. That's when I realized, oh my god, this is going to be good. And oh my god, there is one scene in this game where it really delves into how the Joker's psychology and how demented he is and why he's demented. And it kind of touches a little bit on his origin story, which is really exciting. So, final verdict. Is this game worth buying, or is it not worth buying? I feel like most people that are watching this right now, hardcore Batman fans, have already bought the game, so they just kind of wanted to hear my opinion about it. But if you haven't yet jumped onto the hype train and played this game yet, I would recommend buying it if you're a hardcore freaking Batman fan and if you like good fighting games. But I would probably wait a little bit until they sort out some of these glitches. Because if you haven't bought it yet, that means you didn't jump on the hype train and you could probably live a little bit without it. I would recommend, here's what you should do if you want to save some money. Buy the first 2 Arkham games, Arkham Asylum and then Arkham City. Play those, fall in love with the franchise, and then play Arkham Origins once the price drops a little bit. But honestly, this game had some flaws, but despite those flaws, they got some very, very crucial things right. And the story of this game, the way they depicted the Joker, made it so memorable to me. And it definitely is great for the fanboys and fangirls. And if you like action games, if you're not really into comic book type games, but you really like action games, then you'll definitely fall in love with this. And who knows, maybe you'll even end up a Batman fan because of this game. But my overall verdict is I totally think it was worth the ramen diet. I'm so glad I bought it, and I'm already playing it again because the combat of this game, just like the previous 2 games, is addicting as heck. And oh my god, I replayed some of my favorite scenes. I found them on YouTube and played them again and again and again because, oh, it's just so good. Fangirl explosion! So, yes, I loved this game. I loved it, I loved it, I loved it, and you can't convince me otherwise. All you comic hipsters can just go away. I should go. P.S. I'm going to be doing a giveaway once I reach 2,000 subscribers of some awesome posters, including this Joker and Harley poster autographed by Greg Horn. And just make sure to subscribe after this video if you want to participate in that giveaway once I reach 2,000 subscribers. The only way that Batman resolves the Joker conflict is he of course puts him back into Arkham